That fucking Irish demon got in here and fucked up my system again. Son of a bitch. Yes, Demon Tech. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee from my Dolphins mug, by the way. Somebody said that the Dolphins suck, and they think that bothers me. So, Miami Dolphins, here we are. Hi.
That was weird.
Yeah. Gosh, I know I ruined the intro, Laura. Golly, gee willikers, and there's some bunny ears. I'm sorry. I do not have tech problems. You know what I have? I have a JL. That's what I have.
Hi, JL.
Say hi, JL. Say hi, JL.
There we go. Ghost.
The fucking button was taking forever to work. Jesus Christ. I think
I'm still backstage, man.
I know they're doing some EVMux are doing some upgrades, so things are changing, and there we go. But hey, whatever.
Hello, my best to the fam. I hope they're doing well.
They are doing very well. They just got back from an evening at the park.
Cool.
I had to stay here to take care of our turtles. I know everybody's super interested in that, but that's what happened.
Why would you have to take care of the turtles? They're turtles.
But they, you got to clean their habitat every now and again, get stuff
out.
And,
yeah, the turtle chores. I see.
Yeah, the turtle chores, and then you got to, feed them, and then there you go. It's kind of, this is the things you do when you have animals and turtles.
Here's your turtle feed.
Yeah, your food for your turtles, and you fix all their stuff. Anyway, I have a couple things I want to show you guys tonight. I brought you on simply because we're going to do to Chillie what we did to JM Truth. No, this is not about Chillie per se. This is about his ability to make a film. That's what this is about. Yeah. NANA for $6.66 says, kids are great. They're like people, only smaller. That's absolutely true. Thank you, NANA. Oh, man. Yes. By the way, go get you one of those things over there. Those are cool.
Can't squeak because the dogs will freak out.
The fucking dogs will
eat.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll eat your shit. Turtle chores, flip the dumb ones back over and wash your hands. That's funny. So we have two turtles that live together in their own little terrarium, and it was getting too small for them because they're getting bigger, so we moved into a bigger terrarium, and it's actually an aquarium, but whatever. What? Chillie left an Eric Brandt level threat on a judge's phone?
Wow.
Okay.
There's a reason Eric Brandt is doing 20 years. So there's a reason. So if it's Eric Brandt level, that's intriguing. That's good because Eric Brandt is doing 20 years for doing just that.
Yeah.
For threatening judges.
So stupid. Rack the Jipper says, I thought I saw Bigfoot in the woods during the intro, but maybe it was just JL. I think it was just JL because he was hanging out, and that's what happens there. Baconhead Eating for Fun, who has been a member, actually my only Inner Circle member for 2 months, says, you both rock. Keep doing what you do. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And the ongoing support.
Technically, it wasn't me. It was me sitting on Johnny's shoulders, which is why you thought it was Bigfoot.
Right. So, yeah.
Because in the shadows, it's just kind of like,
fucking huge. Yeah.
It's
right.
Huge.
Mel Ronderos for $4.99 says, Chillie entering the film genre? James Wynn and Neil Breen quaking in their boots. Abso-freaking-lutely.
Ed Wood is rolling in his fucking grave.
I mean, to tell you. This Chillie, look, okay, so I don't know if I want to say he's not Neil Breen bad, but Neil Breen is bad on a level that's, at least enjoyable.
Yeah, he's acceptably bad.
He's acceptably bad. Like, he's self-aware too. Like he knows he's bad. He has to know he's bad. Although
he leaned into it. He realized he didn't have the money to do so.
I honestly thought that as well. But I'm told that one of my producer friends actually worked with an actress who was in his latest movie, and he may not be as self-aware as we would.
It just makes it better.
It does. It really does.
It somehow makes it better. I'm not even gonna fault Neil Breen. He may think he's fucking James Cameron, but man, he is the Neil Breen of James Camerons.
He is the James. Yeah, my goodness. It's just, but it would be kind of fun. Yeah. Anyway, I have yet to speak with this actress, but I would love to talk with her and find out because Neil, if you haven't seen a Neil Breen movie, it's probably because you have a bazillion things better to do with your life. But you know, they're special.
I can imagine the actors on that set being like looking at each other like this is gonna be fucking terrible. Neil Breen's over there behind the camera, printing fucking money.
You know what he's printing behind the camera? The script that he's making up on the fly. No. This is one of the things that she alleges, that he doesn't have a script. He just shows up and says, "This is what you're gonna say."
Wow. There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
In the moment acting. That's some of the best. That's where you get your good stuff. It's not where you get your good stuff.
No. But yeah, my goodness. I can believe that. I mean,
that's where you get your
I can't believe you committed. I can't believe it. I just can't believe you would. Yeah, I can't say the words because YouTube. Baconhead eating for fun for £2. Says Chillie makes Freddy Krueger say, "What the fuck is going on?" Yeah, he kind of does.
There's an episode of Supernatural. For any Supernatural fans that are out there, there's an episode of Supernatural where the boys wind up being transported to another dimension where they are themselves. Where it's a meta episode where they jump into themselves as Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki. So there's no God, there's no magic, there's no supernatural. Literally, Supernatural is a TV show. In this reality, none of that exists. And so they was like, where the hell are we? It's like, well, apparently I'm something called you're something called a Jensen Ackles. I'm something called a Jared Padalecki. Wait, you're Polish? When did that happen? So, and it's a funny meta episode that they did in that. But that's what but they have a scene where they have to act. So they have to, because they're in the middle of shooting a show. So you have the brothers playing themselves, not knowing how to act in the show that they do. And so you have them trying to, like, Jared Padalecki going, and we have to get the keys from Balthazar. and the director's producer looking at was like, what is happening here?
My goodness. NA for $6.66. Tail Sagan says, I can't grow a really long beard because I have to wear a respirator at work, but I'm testing my limits, and right now my goatee is almost 4 inches long. I mean, it's pretty solid.
You can always
just don't. Yeah. A rash tea for $5 says Hilfy.
It's like breathing through reeds.
It's kind of gross. So one of the first things I wanted to show you before we get into the feature of the evening, how many of you guys remember the lady who sold her farts? You guys remember this shit?
Yes.
Very, very viral because I was selling my farts in a jar, and unfortunately I was hospitalized because I got a little bit overzealous and was producing too many farts and ended up in the emergency room because I thought I was having a heart attack, but it turned out to just be gas pains. So I made about $200,000 selling my farts in the jar, but I was forced into an early retirement.
Yeah. And I think it was because of her diet is what it was. What she was to produce more, she was eating a very specific diet, and she wound up screwing herself up. Like it was a diet or a vitamin imbalance and all kinds of stuff. So
yeah, I don't know what's more absurd about this whole thing. The fact that she had to retire early from farting in a jar or that she made $200,000 from farting in a jar. If that's all it takes to make $200,000, this family, my goodness.
Well, it's also, I mean, come on, it's a hot chick farting in a jar.
Yeah, I know.
It's like Belle Delphine. Okay, Belle Delphine who sold her used bath water.
That's so gross.
Okay, and then the one guy who was hospitalized because he drank it.
Oh.
Or there were people who wound up in the emergency room because they used it in their cooking.
Oh, that.
Right. So Simps, man.
Zachary Ripper for
Simps make
$1.99 says it's a Sam Squatch. Bubbles.
Simps make the TikTok go round. It's what it does, man.
Well, so last summer, I hope you get to be better soon. I mean, my goodness, that's no fun. That's no fun.
I had to pull up the chat because I can't see the chat unless I go to another window, and then I can't see you.
Oh, well, that's probably better not seeing me. Okay, let me get rid of this one here, and then we're going to get to the PA. There was definitely not the PA. There was just all the PA stay shit. That's what this is.
They changed the deal, so I can't go to like top chat, live chat. It's weird.
It's top chat or all chat. If you do all chat, that's the thing.
Chat filter. There we go.
Yeah, Sandy D for $2 says proof the human race is doomed. I mean, look, when you got to make money, you got people out there selling feet pics. You got people out there selling farts in a jar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not mad at the game. I'm just shocked that
you're shocked by the players.
All this time I'm over here busting my ass, fucking 9 to 5. I've just been selling farts in a jar.
We rolled low on genetics wise. So when we were creating our characters, appearance was a dump stat for us, for people like us. So we have to work hard for what we do. If we had just if we just treated our intelligence and our charisma as dump stats, then we would have had the appearance, and the dexterity to do some of these things that these content creators do, and we could sell our bathwater and our farts and likely our other bodily fluids and excretions for money on TikTok and OnlyFans. But we don't do that. We chose other dump stats, and
I just, like I said, it just
such is our lot in life.
Yeah. Sorry that she had to retire early from selling her farts.
There's the lamentation. See, there's the true lamentation. I don't even know if that's a first world problem or not. The content we make, explored, it's like if you choose like appearance over like intelligence, stuff like this, and if you think of them as like role playing stats. And here we are lamenting that we make the content we make and we have to work our asses off to do it. And here she is just working her ass and making money hand over fist while doing nothing of the world, because farts are pretty much in ready supply. I mean, hell, I got some farts to sell to you. I'll sell them to you. I'll give them to you for free. Nobody around here wants them.
Fuck that. No, hell no, man. That woman's selling them for $200,000. I can at least make $2,000 on my farts. Come on now. I said $2,000. Come on now. I was being realistic. There's somebody out there who wants to poison their boss.
It's like, goodness. I wish I wasn't so smart. I wish I would. I feel like people would rather be smart, or rather be beautiful than smart, because beautiful people at least can take advantage of the people that want so badly to be near them. So
yeah. All right. So somebody said, why this mug? Well, this Dolphins mug represents a team that I enjoy very much. Taipan23 says, trim your beard and sell it off one hair at a time.
Well, Brooke McLyman says, I'm jealous I didn't capitalize on that jar fart idea. There aren't jars large enough. That's the problem.
No. We just get multiple jars.
No, because once it starts, it can't stop.
Yeah, but you just siphon one off. You have to have help, God forbid.
My farts are like Pringles. My farts are like Pringles, man. Once you pop, no.
All right. I'm sure you all
quoted on that.
You are getting quoted on that.
Once you pop, you cannot stop.
Oh, man.
Severe tire damage.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's a good idea, Fred Knotts. Just use a fake model.
This doesn't smell like beautiful woman. I want my money back. I didn't get beautiful woman farts. I got fat ex-rocker farts. These are beautiful Christian woman farts. I got fat atheist farts. These are what I wanted.
Not what I paid for. What's up, everybody? Okay, let's get into it. Now, I must warn you that this is atrociously bad. This is coming from somebody who has been in the entertainment, the filmmaking business, at least as a performer. He self-proclaims that he was an agent. I doubt that very much.
Okay.
But yeah, Baconhead eating for fun for £2 says beauty does not last forever. This is true, but with the right investments, 200 grand does. That's all I'm saying.
It can certainly, with
Stop running, son. Stop running. Yeah. Stop running. Stop running. Stop running. Down right there. Down right there. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
Oh, por favor, no. No me mates, no me mates.
I've seen movies start this way.
Yes, we're watching one right now.
Oh, different movies.
So what have I told you guys?
Look how rotund Chillie is here. He's put on a little bit of weight. His intermittent fasting, I don't think, is working. Seems to be carrying a lot of water weight. Seems bloated.
He does a little puffy. Yeah.
Yeah. A little poofy there. Maybe it's the steroids.
Why is his face a different? His face is so red.
I don't know. I think his hair is going more white.
So ruddy. He's such a ruddy complexion.
Yeah. So again, let's take a look. We're looking at this from a filmmaker's aspect. We don't give a shit about Chillie so much, but we're going to talk about the mistakes that we see in his filmmaking. Before we get there, though, Skits Crasher for $2 says, "Hello, Johnny O and JL." Hello, Skits Crasher. Thank you so much for $2. Now, the problem that I have with what we just saw, the opening looked like it was from. I mean, this is JM Truth level, right?
Oh well. Hang on. So I need some context here because it's the first time I'm seeing this. So that was the intro we saw. That's like how he kicked off his movie.
Yeah.
So this is a movie.
No, not so much. There's like some reenactments in here, and then there are. This is supposed to be an educational video. At least that's what he's telling YouTube, so he can leave the violence that he has in there.
Okay. So that intro was
Atrocious.
crap. I mean, it was atrocious. I mean, as far as like quality, camera quality and everything, it's an action moving shot. So there's some things that you have to take into account logistics wise when you're shooting from that perspective. Now he's shooting from the body cam perspective, trying to simulate that.
Right.
But because he doesn't have like a body cam and he didn't invest in like a GoPro to simulate the kind of body cam perspective, then he's pretty much just running what looks like with his iPhone.
Yeah, you can see he's using his iPhone there.
Yeah, he's using his iPhone tucked into his shirt, which is terrible because the iPhone, the camera is going to move like with his body, whereas body cams are designed to get as best a picture as possible, as clear and stable a picture as possible while the officer is in movement. So they capture everything, but because he's rolling like this, the iPhone's not meant to do that. So the iPhone doesn't really work as a body camera.
I mean, obviously he's using this is a propaganda piece, right? So we're
yeah,
gonna look at it from there. But so this right here, this is supposed to be an actual captured shot. Now his problem is he's shooting at the wrong time of day. He's got no sense of camera position. He has no sense of lighting.
Yep.
This just looks flat and terrible. That's why he looks so red, and that's why he looks bloated.
The sound was awful. It was awful as well.
Sound was terrible too. Yeah,
the sound's being recorded from the iPhone. So if he
normally
you'd be running normally to get a shot like that, you'd be running with you take the audio, you take the visual from the camera, and then you would have your Steadicam guy running with you, or so you'd have an audio guy moving with you to capture the audio, and then you would just lay the two over one another.
Yeah, or you can invest in an inexpensive
or lav mic.
I mean, you could get, I think the Rode NT2s are like, for a single one, you get like for $150. It's not that bad.
Or you could rent it.
Or you can rent one. Yeah,
exactly. That way you can turn it back in. Yeah,
exactly. Rent some equipment, do your thing, but the mistakes here, the color grading is terrible. The post-production is awful. There's no sense of balance. It's washed out. You can see that in the top corner there, you have your light spilling through, which is taking away from the subject of this piece.
This choice right here, like this split screen,
it's a bad choice.
Does he run this split screen or is this a wash?
Like oh no, no, you'll see that this is ongoing, and I know the reason why he's doing it. And we'll talk about that here in a minute, but this is ongoing. I disagree with this choice for many reasons. Baconhead eating for fun for £2 says, "Is that a Chillie stripper uniform? God, I hope not." Sandy D for $5 says, "Many people hate actors or movies and don't realize it's bad writing. That really is what they hate. You know, Chillie wrote this, so take that with you." Yeah, I mean, this part of this is also terrible writing. This is how gay porn starts.
Catnip. I was just thinking. I was like, I've seen movies start like that.
Yep.
Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
Yeah.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Yep.
So,
Aaron Reese says nothing about the post-assassination seagull. I don't know. I did not. I must have missed that one, Aaron.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't either. And then let's see here. We have somebody who gifted some. Where is it?
It's like NA.
NA has gifted 5 plot hole memberships. There it is. Bam. Thank you so much for those. Nice. I appreciate that. Everybody get in there and use your new emojis. All right, so let's continue this shit show.
The camera is the deal changer, right? But It's not. You are. Not the First Amendment auditor. You, the one who's filming because you saw a cop interacting with someone and you said to film the cop. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
Now, I will give him this. He was smart enough to use 3 different cameras to get 3 different angles, but each one of his angles are shit. They're terrible.
Well, the angles are terrible. The angles are terrible. The lighting is terrible. And of course, his sound is fucking atrocious.
It's awful. It is awful.
He doesn't know. Yeah. It was like that is, I was like, what? The minute you hit play, I was like, what the shit?
Yeah.
Like, that's just bad filmmaking. That's just not, well, technically, that may be he doesn't have the equipment he needs, the appropriate equipment, because he can't afford it. Or he refuses to buy it. He refuses to invest.
You know, the funny thing is though, he could have got a lav mic and left it on his iPhone.
Yeah,
could have plugged that shit right in and boom, and then he would have been fine. But, all right, here we go.
If I tell him my body camera's picking up everything, my body camera's picking up everything here. What are you seeing? Take a look. You see his blue shirt. You see under his chin. You can't really see what's going on. If this is the body camera footage, this is what you're seeing. This is what you're seeing. Punches being thrown. If his hand's even out, he's reaching for my gun. This is all the camera angle sees. Now, once I grab this man and I pull him in and I start to knee and I start to kick, what does the body cam show? The body cam, this is what the body cam sees. This is what...
I don't know why we needed 2 instances of that. I did not pull it back and replay it. It's the same shit over and over again.
Yeah.
It's
wow,
bad.
That's a bad angle. That's a bad angle of him.
It really is. And you can see why he's doing this split screen shit.
And you can tell that actor is not appreciating this, but he's probably getting paid. So, or if he's getting paid, then he's just dealing with it. But that's not the face of somebody who is acting.
No, he's like, stop this now. Yeah, how not to shoot a short. Exactly. Yeah. This is a masterclass in what not to do.
The body cam sees. The camera is the game changer to
I
a
just
point.
want a guy to be close to me.
Wide.
What's that?
He just wants a guy to be close to him.
Oh, I think so.
Angle camera is the game changer. You pulling out your camera and filming is the game changer. What happens when I'm in here with you? Can you can't see anything. You can't see anything. And I'm punching. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. As you can see, the wide angle camera is the deal maker. If you're not shooting wide angle, you're failing society.
What the fuck?
Oh, that's great.
With the glasses push. Yeah.
I guess because I don't always shoot wide angle. I'm not shooting wide angle right now. I guess I'm failing society.
His phone's about to fall out of his shirt. Like his phone is like all over the place, and this just like if you go back and look at that, it's like, come on, dude. Yeah, we could totally like rip the audio and just send it to like some sexy time music. We totally could.
$2 from Mr. Unite with the children says the actor is getting paid in free trifolds. Oh, geez.
My question is like, well, I guess he's just kind of staring off into space at the moment. But Chillie's got to keep his hand. He doesn't even need, at this point, it's instruction. He doesn't need to keep his hand on the guy. Why is he keeping his hand on him?
I don't know. Yeah.
Chillie needs that contact. I did, like legit, just like that video of the Proud Boys demonstrating how you pat people down,
Yeah.
and the pat down was so intimate.
It was a little. They were getting in there. Mr. Malore says Chillie or Jam Truth Festival. Death is not an option. Oh, jeez. I don't know. JM Truth, maybe. I think. JM Truth. Would you go JM Truth or would you go Chillie?
I'd rather go to a Jam Truth one.
Me too. I think.
Yeah.
Me too.
At least it'll be funnier. It's
this
less
is just sad.
Yeah.
5 pounds from Baconhead Eating for Fun says one old Chillie and young Chillie and not a brain between the. Oh man, that's so gross. Thank you for that, Baconhead. Potentially criminal for $5 says we all know deep down this is kink levels of role playing by Chillie. I think so. I think you're right.
This is what Chillie thinks is sex.
Probably. All right.
The wide angle camera is the deal breaker.
Don't retake the shot. Don't redo it, right? Don't pick your phone back up, put it back in place, and redo, but no, just let it run.
It's fucking this is he thinks he's a filmmaker.
He does. Oh, they had the bro hug. Don't forget the bro hug. You saw that, right? Hang on. I know you remember it.
There, kid, stop running. Stop running. Stop running, kid.
Go back here. We're going to get back.
The camera is the deal maker. If you're not shooting wide angle, you're failing society. The wide angle camera.
Okay, so Tina Slay, I'm sorry to break this up, but Tina Slay brings up a really good question and a really good point. And one thing that I will say about this, had the police come across this, yes, they could have cited him for filming without a permit. Is that something that every single director has done in their career? Absolutely, because permits, especially in Los Angeles, are stupid expensive. I mean, stupid expensive.
Yeah, they are.
And
well, you're saying has every single director ever gotten a permit?
No. I'm talking about every single director done what we call guerrilla filmmaking.
Oh, guerrilla filming. No,
you show up on location. Everybody's ready to go. You get out there, you set camera up really quick, you do a couple of checks, and then boom, you shoot your shot and then get the fuck out.
I did that. I've done that,
and
with an escape plan, so that everybody else can get away while I sit there and I take the heat because it's my shoot. So it'd be like, so if the police show up, I need everybody to do this, and then so they can vamoose. That way they only come after me, and I'll sit here and I'll deal with this. Be like, yeah, I'm filming without a permit, but I've done that before because on occasion, sometimes. Permanent or not, sometimes people just don't want you to film in certain places, even if it's like an area that's not like a house. Like we were trying to film in a field once, and we called the people who the company that owned the field, and we said we'd like to come out there and just like it's just it's like 5 or 6 of us and shoot a quick scene for this film that we're doing, for the short film we're doing, and they were like no, and it literally is just an open field, an undeveloped open field. And all we had was a tripod. So we have a tripod, we have a camera, no vehicles, or we could walk in, shoot, and then we leave, take about an hour. And they were like, no, we don't want anybody like walking on that. And it's like open. There's no fence, nothing. It's just open field. And they wouldn't let us do it. But so we did it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. I've done it. James Cameron did it on fucking Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
You just, roll up and do your thing and get out when nobody gets caught. That's kind of the way it goes. So I don't necessarily have an issue with that per se. If he would have been stopped, if police would have rolled up on him, then yeah, they would have been like, no, we're shutting you down because you don't have a permit. And again, if this is at somebody's house, backyard, private, kind of, then that's not a big deal. Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to be like, oh, you got a permit for this shit. And yeah, Aaron Reese notices too. He has promoted himself to captain.
Oh, I noticed that he's got the captain's bars. He's got the butter bars.
Yeah. Nemo813, who's been a plot hole crew member for 5 months, says that is Chillie's Top Gun volleyball scene. That's so funny. Hey, Tim Hicks. Oh, hello, everybody, by the way. I forgot to say hi. I'm sorry about that, but hello, everybody. I'm glad you're here. Actually, I started to say it, but my mic was muted because I was infected by Irish Demon Tech. So here you go.
Deal breaker.
See the bro hug. I'm just glad that somebody has recognized this. Ed 209 says Johnny O, James Cameron, same thing.
Freeze right there, kid. Stop running.
Lloyd
Stop
Kaufman.
running. Stop running, kid.
Lloyd Kaufman, Captain.
Where's your body cam? I don't see your body cam. There's no body cam. Yes. I don't see your body cam. Officer, no.
Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. 6:33. I got one in custody. My body cam's over there, kid. As you bleed out. Any cameras? Any cameras? Send an ambulance.
He was so out of breath.
He was so out of breath, but for me, it was. Is he punching him in the chocolate starfish? I think so, possibly, but everything about this was just stupid.
Yeah.
Why do we need the captions to tell us what we're supposed to notice in your film, Chillie? Can you tell me? Is there any wonder? No, there's no wonder why he's a failed actor.
No, none at all.
Whatsoever. No. Not at all. No, he's terrible. He's awful.
As you bleed out. Any cameras? Any cameras? Send an ambulance.
Why the hell would he say as you bleed out? See, that's the terrible writing.
All right, what do we got in here? What do we got in here? Some drugs in here. Some drugs in here. Looking for drugs in here. What do we got going on over here, huh? What do we got going on? Nothing over here. Over here, yep. Where's those drugs at? Where's the drugs? Where are the drugs? For drugs. Looking for drugs. Looking for drugs in here. Looking for drugs in here. Looking for drugs in here.
This is so bad because the writing, I mean, I understand it's supposed to be satirical at least, or it's supposed to be kind of tongue-in-cheek about police officers and what they do, but why would you have to say the same thing over and over again that quickly?
I guess reinforcing the idea. I honestly...
Yeah, but do we really need that many reinforcements that he's looking for drugs? I think we got it after the first 15 times he said it.
Or, show, don't tell. Show,
exactly.
Don't say. It's really simple. All you have to do is show on the camera that the officer is state what the officer's doing, going to go in there and do this, starts hunting around, looks around, then plans, and then says, oh, look what I found. It's show, don't tell. That's one of the first rules of filmmaking. And he's just, because for Chillie, this is an emotional thing. He's not filmmaking. He is,
it's fine. Having this be an emotional thing is fine, but there's still an air of seriousness that you should take with something like this. Even if you are emotional about the subject, you can still make a movie and do a better job than this. That's the thing. If this is an emotional thing and you actually take your time to make this film, then what you need to do is use your dialogue. When you say the same shit, and you know this, right? Unless it's like a character tick,
Yeah.
If you say the same shit over and over and over again, it loses its importance.
Predominantly, this is just a polemic. It's a hit piece. Is all.
Yeah, exactly.
It's designed
Absolutely.
to be. And
$2 from Russell Simmons says, this is just beyond embarrassing. Yes, it is. And that is Russell's very first super chat. Thank you so much.
And that's coming from the dude who created Sweatin' to the Oldies.
Yeah, it's Richard Simmons, but whatever.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Russell Simmons. That is awesome. Congratulations on your first super chat ever. Look at you. I broke your super chat cherry. That sounds so terrible, doesn't it? That sounds terrible. Gosh. Beaver Zero is in the house. He says he hasn't been feeling well. I hope you're feeling better soon. PhD Tony is also in the house, coming in hot. Said, "Oh, not this bullshit again."
Yeah.
Gotta love Tony. Does not fucking mince words. See, Chillie, that's how you do it. You don't mince words. You come in hot. You say what you need to say once. He hasn't said, "Oh, not this bullshit again," 15 fucking times in the side chat. That's all I'm saying.
And here's somebody pointed out in the live chat. It's really, really important, really important to note that Chillie has a fundamental misunderstanding or a fundamental lack of understanding of how officers do their jobs. Like, for example, and it was pointed out, although it may be inconsequential, it's important to note that all of Chillie's stuff is predicated upon a lack of understanding of what police do and why they do it. And the reason for that is because the police are under no obligation to explain to you why they are doing certain things. So until a certain point, but like at any given point, no, they're not. Now they do have to explain some things to you, but the tactics they use or the evidence collecting, procedures they use, the police procedure is not something that has to be detailed out for you. You can go and look it up in their manuals, but they don't have to tell you that. They have to tell you why you're being detained, why you're being arrested, presentation of warrants, blah, 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 cataloging of evidence and all that other stuff. But like, for example, Chillie thinks that this is something that police do. They crawl into a car, stomp all over people's personal effects, and
potentially destroy
evidence and leave their own fingerprints all over the place.
Right.
To commit a crime themselves, which is not what you do in the commission of a crime. So when officers do like incredibly stupid shit like this, because I'm not gonna say that they've never done. Of course, officers have done stuff like this, but guess what? Yeah. They get caught. They will. They do get caught. It takes time to catch them, but eventually they do. There was one officer I just recently read about who got nailed for it was almost over 100 instances of planting drugs on people he stopped for traffic infractions, of doing a quick search. He's like, "Can I take a quick search of the vehicle just to make sure there's nothing, nothing toward them?" People are like, "Yeah, sure, I got nothing to hide. Go for it." And then he searches, and then all of a sudden comes up with like methamphetamine, and people are like, "What?" Yeah. It's like, no, and then eventually you get 100 people saying, "No, that wasn't mine." Then yeah, the guy's out there shaking down drug dealers, taking their stashes and not charging them, and then walks over and plants it on another deal to get another hit. And it makes him look amazing because the whole point was he wanted to get into narcotics. So he wanted to look like, he was a narcotic, like he had a nose for hunting down narcotics. Right. But he was caught. They catch them who do this. So
now, so potential criminal says jail is thinking of Zachary Wester from Florida. He's doing 6 years in prison. Yeah, but it took way too fucking long for that shit.
It took way too long.
It took way too long. And here's the thing: always say no. Always refuse a search, but do it respectfully. Unless no, unless do it respectfully. No, I do not consent to any searches and seizures of my property this time. And if they come out and bring the dogs, whatever. Let your lawyer fight that in court.
And so I will do that. I've done that, knowing that the dog. See, it's different than somebody crawling through, like looking in your stuff, right? Like down there. Bring the dog, because if you know there's no drugs in your car, the dog is not going to pick up on any drugs.
Yeah, but the problem is they have. I forget who demonstrated it. They have a certain command that they'll give the dog, and the dog will do a fake hit on your car. He knows a certain way. Your interpretation of the movement of the dog alerts the police officer that he picked up something in your car, so that gives him this. No, you have nope, just flat out no. But there's a right way and a wrong way. You don't sit there and scream and yell and you just know. At this time I refuse any illegal. I refuse any searches and seizures of my property, my personal property. And then keep your mouth shut. Don't say another fucking word. Whatever's going to happen on the street is going to happen on the street. Let it happen. You have to fight that shit in court.
Litigate in court. Litigation is not for the street; it's for the court. Absolutely.
Right. All right, here we go. Yeah, law enforcement officer is not going to go crawling through your car. Not like this. This is not going to happen.
Jason Hyatt, do not associate my name with this piece of crap. Wow. JL DeCastro and JM Truth.
Oh man, there we go.
Oh, what's that right there? Got some drugs right there, huh? Got some drugs right there.
Is he making a rap video?
What is this right here?
I don't know.
Got some drugs right there. Got some drugs right there.
Yeah, that's the thing. He does it often. He has this incessant need to repeat himself over and over and over and over again. Just come on, man. Say it once.
Repetition of words. It could be neurological.
I think so.
Like he gets stuck on a word or gets stuck on a phrase, and he just is compelled to repeat that phrase over and over again.
Yeah. Again, I'm not a mental health.
Oh, he meant to hit the M there. Sorry, JL. No problem. Thank you, Jason.
No, Jason, you don't have to apologize. You leave it. You leave it. What's up, Kirsto? All right, here we go.
Got something here, huh? Mr. Johnson? Mr. Johnson? Mr. Johnson?
I gotta put my body cam back
Mr.
in.
Johnson, everything's on body cam. Everything's on body cam. We got something here. This is why you don't let cops search your car without someone filming them. Right there.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have that option, though, right? Sometimes it happens.
Look at that donut gut.
Yeah.
Plant the drugs. See that? Freeze right there. Stop running, kids. Stop running, you son of a bitch. Stop running. Stop running. Stop running. Stop running. Down right there. Down right there. Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
Okay.
Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
No estoy haciendo nada.
Stop resisting.
Oh, por favor, no. No me mates, no me mates.
Shots fired.
He's trying not to laugh.
Yeah.
Body cam fell off. I'm fine. Shit.
Got wide angle at your home. So dollars, all the dollars says that wide angle is going to be his new grip. It's going to replace transparency. How much you want to bet? Anybody? Let me know in the side chat. What do you think? Wide angle is his new grift? Let me know. What do you think?
Probably. Aaron Reese, we do hear the seagulls.
I do hear the seagulls.
But the problem is we don't see the seagulls. So it's not like he's showing them. We just hear them. So it's possible that he could have added the seagulls in after the editing because the gunshot and then the birds. So I don't know, but either way,
Either way, this is bad. There are a lot of bad choices here. A lot of bad choices.
Okay.
What the hell is that thing he has attached to his chest?
Who knows?
I want to talk about how important.
Okay, so this is where
painted bricks.
Yeah, this is where the really bad acting gets.
He has a painted brick. The bricks are painted in.
It's so bad. There is a point where I'm going to stop this video because he uses James Sheets. That's his new way to grift. He moved on really quickly from the Virginia thing and hopped onto the James Sheets thing because this allowed him to it probably allowed him to work where he didn't have to travel as much, and B, he quickly realized there was no money to be made off of grifting in the Virginia situation. But here you go.
Important it is for you to share this video and for you to get your friends to film from a wide angle. Now, if you take a good look at this video from James Sheets' murder in Struthers in Ohio, you're gonna see that this cop is gonna reach into his car after James Sheets has been shot at least 14 times. He's gonna lean his entire body into the car. And we believe, there's a debate, was the gun planted by the guy leaning in the window, or was the gun planted by Matt Haas when he reached around Tom?
I mean, this is an excellent example of inventing a narrative. Because what does this video show? It's grainy at best. Obviously, this person took this video from quite a distance and zoomed in. He didn't have the best of cameras. What can we really tell here? Nothing.
So,
Baconhead eating for fun for £2 says Chillie new foreplay video. Cops in the hood. Oh, jeez, that's so bad.
okay, so hang on a sec. So.
Yep.
So I'm looking at it. Looking at the most recent deal that came out in January, January 2020, January 13th. The report from the AG shares details of an officer-involved fatal shooting in Struthers. Months of investigation interviews on the April 1st shooting. The Ohio AG has released its investigative documents and will not be pressing charges. Okay, so where is he getting the idea that the gun was planted?
He's making this up.
So it's like I'm just like there's not even. That's why I'm curious. Like the logic.
Yeah, no, this is what I'm saying. This is an invented narrative, right? He's making this shit up because there's nothing here that is definitive. It definitively tells us that there was a gun planted. Yes, you see an officer walking up to the car, you see what could potentially be just based on the video, what could potentially be a police officer walking up to the car. You don't see anything else. You barely see the officer move. Yet, Chillie's putting out that this is a planted weapon.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about. Is like, what would indicate? Is there something that was in the investigation or something odd that would allow him to make the logical leap? It's kind of like, there was a gun. Because they found a gun and it was sitting in the passenger seat, but he wasn't in his lap and it wasn't down in there in the floorboards. It just happened to be nearby in the car. So that would questions like, where did the gun come from? Did they plant it like this? So I get that, but if that's not what occurred, if he's simply saying, because they're reporting he had a gun and that's why the shooting took place, because he took the gun and he aimed it at one of the officers,
right? And
so the shooting took place. So, but this is he's just literally fabricating this. It's just out of thin air. It's like, well, where did the gun come from? Oh, they put it in there when that officer could be leaning into that car to ensure that the vehicle is in park.
There are a number of reasons
why
police officer could be reaching into this vehicle. If there was, let's say there was a firearm there, the cop could be reaching in to secure it to make sure that in case whatever happened, the suspect did not reach for the firearm again. It could have been turning the car off, putting it in park. Could have been any number of reasons. Could be checking his vitals. Who knows? Any number of reasons why. But to sit there and invent this idea based on what Brainy Beaver tells me is based on the fact that his wife or his significant other said that he didn't own a firearm or he didn't have a firearm. She wasn't there, so how would she know? It's just stuff like this. When you have these hit pieces, when you have these propaganda films, you have to look at that shit for what it is. This is a propaganda film. By the way, Juicy B just became a Plot crew member. Thank you so much. Yeah. I do appreciate that. When you have this type of hit piece that is obviously a hit piece, you've got to go back and take a look at why this person is saying what he's saying. And it's because he has a bias against police officers.
He's not just a bias.
Oh, it's outright.
He's got some sort of pathological grudge with like all of law enforcement. And it's either because he himself was rejected as a potential law enforcement officer, or he had such a traumatic experience with law enforcement that he feels that he's taken it as his personal crusade to take them all on head first. And that's always been in the back of my mind, that the further he goes, if he doesn't make headway, if he's continuously unsuccessful, that there's two options. He's either going to fade away and will, just like Flat Earth did and other idiots, he'll either fade away, or he's going to wind up, something's going to happen to him, because he's going to wind up basically kind of creating his own scenario.
He's going to fucking wreck doing all.
He's going to create his own scenario because you keep running around. He keeps running around to officers, claiming that officers are doing all this shady stuff, and that officers will kill you, and officers will do all this, set you up, and do all this other nonsense. And yes, we acknowledge there are bad officers in this world. The vast majority of them are not. But you keep running around accusing people of this, and you keep sticking your finger in their face, and you keep sticking your camera in their face, and you will run into the one you claim exists.
Right. Problem is, we're running into the whole Chillie grift, and I wanted to stay on the actual filmmaking portion of this. Baconhead Eating for Fun for £2 says, could the police sue Chillie for slander? I don't think so. I'm not 100% certain on that. Maybe a potential criminal could answer that. a potential criminal. I'm not for certain. I don't think so, but again, don't quote me on that. This whole film was haphazardly put together, haphazardly at best put together. And this apparently took him so long, and oh my goodness, I put all this time and effort into it, and
to edit the footage in such a way as to convey what he wants to convey.
Right. It doesn't work. All this does is reinforce the idea that he has such a disdain for the police officers that he's willing to invent a narrative. And again, if this were a fiction piece, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But he's presenting this as a nonfiction piece.
PG Tony brings up is like he was careful enough to couch his allegation in terms of "we believe." It's like, but you have no justification for that. And,
there's no.
And from the footage that you're putting here, there's no possible way anyone could discern that. Could discern like how? How could you even like literally what I'm looking at? It looks like Bigfoot footage.
Yes.
Okay.
It does. It really does. Ed 2276 for $20 says this is Chillie's alternative invention. First, he claimed the cop on the driver's side planted a gun until a close-up video showed conclusively he didn't. Then he switched to the passenger side cop planted a gun. Yeah, I mean, and that's part of the problem because it's just there's no demonstrable evidence that suggests that a firearm was planted. What are we supposed to do here? I mean, how are we supposed to take anything that he says and they change the story? Well, I've got to make the story fit my narrative. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. Right. You've got to Church of POS. You've got to, in this type of filmmaking, if you're going to make a documentary style film, you have to at least attempt to present factual evidence, or at least evidence that can support, even if it's misinterpreted evidence, but evidence to support your claim. And this isn't even misinterpreted evidence. This is just terrible video.
Flat out lies. Yeah, and Church PO is correct. Low production values, terrible camera work, terrible lighting, terrible sound, bad. I mean, everything just looks bad. Bad framing, bad timing. His editing is atrocious. And everything is just gorgeous. I wish I had 4 hands so I could give this video 4 thumbs down. Oh, the milk's gone bad.
I mean, this is just. Look, I don't want to sit there and just shit on Chillie because,
I do.
I do.
Just a big old steaming shiza.
Because this is just more garbage in, garbage out kind of shit. And, a lot of people talk about, well, Johnny, if you're going to, and this is what's going to come from the other side. Johnny, you're such a good filmmaker. Why don't you show us what you've got? I've got my stuff out. You can check it on Insomniac Films, Insomniac Film Company on YouTube. Check it out. I put my stuff up there. I ain't scared.
In fact, you tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, tell us how you really feel. I mean, look, there are so many ways that they could have made this better. This could have been better, even if I disagree with what he's putting up here, which I absolutely do. I absolutely disagree that this. Look, somebody lost their life in this situation. It was a terrible tragedy. Should have been avoided. Could have been avoided. But what we do is we don't go out and invent a narrative, make a film about it, a terrible film about it, and then push that out. This is a terrible example of what not to do. This is actually a great example of what not to do. Baconhead eating for fun for £5 says it was a police on the grassy knoll planting the gun.
It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man. And then I like what Aaron said. He spent it all on the cocaine. I mean, the craft budget.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
He pulls out the mirror. Here's the craft table.
Yeah, that 1980s craft table. Blue ones,
ready for another 8 hours.
Red ones. Yeah. Oh, geez. Anyway, okay, so there's a little bit of bad acting here, and this is the best part of the bad acting.
Tommy Shinneman's shield that he put up.
By the way, that's not a shield. Well, it's a shield, but it's not a shield for the eyes, where you can't see because it's
what the hell is that even?
Plastic.
For a dead man in a car, so that they could block out the cameras. The simple fact of the matter is, without this Good Samaritan filming this from 50 yards away, we wouldn't really know for a fact that James Sheets was murdered and that the gun was planted. But as you can see from the video,
see that right there completely destroys his couch of saying I didn't, I was saying we believe. He just said we know for a fact. So yeah, now his narrative is coming out.
there's absolutely no reason in the world that this cop needs to lean into the car window. After James Sheets is murdered, he's been tased twice, shot 14 times, but the cop leans his entire body into the window. Why? Because he's planting a gun, or he's moving the gun that they threw in the car that didn't set up properly or plant properly. I'm telling you, you need to film police. I'm asking you. I'm begging.
PhD Tony for 10 odds, he says, we've entertained a phrase of public discourse where people can publish and disseminate the most outlandish dissertations as long as they can claim they believed what they were saying, even with no evidence. And yes, we have. Thank you for that, PhD Tony. I really appreciate that. But it's, then he goes and shoots himself in the foot and says, conclusively, or whatever the fuck he just said, that it was, it was a murder. It was this, it was that. So,
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. Oh, well. I don't want to see that stuff. I don't want to see his. Look at his face. Aw.
This frog looking motherfucker.
He's so trying. Again, if you had this is why lighting is so important. Because you properly light this.
He's got one light.
Yeah, right. He's got his
I'm just
ring
looking
light.
at this. Yeah, he's got one light. He's got the light over there, technically stage left of him.
Right.
And he's got no key light. He's got no hair light.
Key light, no hair light. There's no separation from him in the background.
No lip light.
He definitely has no lip light.
Sorry.
Right.
It just fades into his chin. But yeah, there's this is not how this is not like, obviously, he has no concept of what a professional production is, or he has no concept of what a professional production is, or like when you're doing a static shot like this, number 2, it's the framing is awful.
So he's got the idea of putting stuff in the background, right? But he's got this goofy ass brick wall that is completely uninteresting. Just the hair of
the coloring. The coloring is terrible.
It's awful.
The color on the and it's disbalanced. I don't know why he's got all that negative space over stage right. I don't know why he has all that negative space, and then he's got it all cluttered over to the left, over to stage left, and it's old timey, which is weird. Nothing in this is completely disbalanced. It's aggravating. It's aggravating to look at. Then you juxtapose that against his black hoodie that he's wearing. So
yeah, there's no sense of rule of thirds. There's no sense of the reason why he broke the rule of thirds, because even looking at him, he's almost center frame. He's enough center frame to get away with it, but his eye line is underneath the top third. His angle, his depth of field is bad. His angle is bad. So many things could be done better, right? Chillie, listen, I'm going to give you a tip. As a professional gaffer, professional filmmaker, I'll give you a tip. 3-point lighting is your friend. If you can't afford 3-point lighting, you can fake 3-point lighting with a good key light and a couple of bounce boards. You can place the bounce boards at strategic angles to fill in what your key light is missing out, and then to separate the top of your head and your back shoulders from the scene behind you, from whatever's going on behind you. You can do that real simply. It's real simple, real simple. It's positioning, 45-degree angle key light. Then you have your bounce, which your fill bounce. If you can only afford one light, you have your fill bounce position here where it's going to fill in a little bit of the shadow on the face. You still want to have that nice little triangle here. It's called the Rembrandt. And then you pull another bounce board up above you, or maybe above you to the left. Kind of depends if you want more halo, if you want more backlight. It kind of depends. But there's some stylistic choices you can make. But it's easy 3-point lighting. It's not difficult. Look, I'll show you. I've got a shitty camera. Well, not a shitty camera, but I've got a not so great camera. Okay. Now, granted, this is live streaming, so this isn't the greatest. But look, okay, when we're talking about lighting, my key light is right here. Okay, I've got a halo light right here. I'm not using anything for fill because what I have on my key light, I have a lantern diffusion, and it's kind of aimed a little bit over here at my white wall, so I'm getting a little bit of bounce from this wall back onto my face to fill in. Now, if you'll notice, it's not super noticeable again because of my soft diffusion, but there's what we call the Rembrandt triangle right here. That's a shadow from the nose, creating that triangle. And we want to know why it's called a Rembrandt? I know JL knows, but it's simple. This takes me. I set and reset this every single time I live stream or shoot a video. It takes minutes. It's not difficult to do. And I mean, you want to talk about getting into like some serious theory when it comes to lighting. Yeah, that can get complicated and difficult, but you know, it's still very easily done. You can do this all day, every day. It's not hard. JL's deep in thought over there.
No, I was looking at the comments. I was saying like that because my just thinking about my own setup because I have my halo light and I need to.
Aaron Reese, hang on a second. Aaron Reese says you can't do 3-point lighting with one construction light stand. You can. Again, you have your construction light stand. You can make that your key light. You just have to diffuse it.
Yeah.
Set it back far enough or position it correctly. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be right on top of you. You can, 45 degrees from where you're sitting from your, from the camera, 45-degree angle, boom, and, diffuse it. No big deal. And then, of course, you put your bounce boards up. So you can do it with a construction light. It's not going to look as good, but, you can still do it.
So, like, mine is, so I have my light here.
Hang on one second. Let me get you where you are. We're going to boom. There you go. You're all big.
I am. Oh, I didn't. Oh, there we go. So like I have my light here, which does that. So now you can see like half of me would be kind of in darkness, and so but it kind of disappears over on this side because it's so dark. So that if I turn that on, it balances out. And the whole purpose of this setup is because of the space that I'm working in was to utilize the walls behind me, which are lighter in color, to reflect light, to help to reflect light back and kind of balance things out. And I have a light here and I have a light over here, and the light over here supplies that look, which helps to illuminate. So otherwise it would just be this and you wouldn't really get anything. Yeah. So that's the fill light. And this is the one that actually lights me so that I am focusable and I'm centered in the screen, but in the back is not static. So at least there's interesting things look there, but they don't distract from what's going on here. You can focus here, which is where I found my kind of balance here and able to use the colors of the walls. When I first moved into the space, I was able to use I painted everything else behind me, but these ones right here were great for bouncing light off of. And so to kind of balance everything out. And so nothing is too sharp, nothing stands out too extreme and is distracting, and everything just kind of, flows together. So.
Yeah. And, there's some technical things you have to keep in mind when you're capturing your film. I was recently, and I'll show this to you really quick, actually. Let me bring this up. I'll show you. I was doing some color grading, color correction on some footage that we captured a while ago. Gosh, this was 7 months ago, I want to say. But I'll show you. Hang on. I'll just share my screen, and you can see this is me at work. So we'll get rid of this guy. That guy sucks. Is this it? No, that's it. Here we go. Okay. All right. So you can see here, right? You can see she's got the Rembrandt under her left cheek, her key light, which we're using. I believe we're using the sun. So you can even use the sun as her key light. And then we have a little bit of fill on the left side of her face. And of course, she's got the separation, nice little halo. She's blonde, so it's easier to get that separation with blonde hair than yeah, it is easier. It's easier. But so here we go. You can see this. And you'll notice something that I noticed while grading.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, look. So look behind this gentleman here. There's all kinds of stuff going on in the background, and it's all nice and pretty and cool. But we've done what we call soften that out. Some people like to call it a bokeh. Sorry. Speaking of, Eugene's calling me. It's bokeh out. It's nice and soft and smooth, but it's still interesting. So there's a depth of field going on there. But notice how everything is evenly lit. We had the right side of her lit on her angle, and now we have the left side, because he's on the opposite side of him, lit on his angle. And you still have the Rembrandts, you still have the hair, you still have the separation, you still have the key going there.
Look, Lauren, no matter what I say, that's going to sound bad, but it's not as bad as it sounds.
Notice how the audio is crisp and clear.
You're pretty. You're nice.
This is
Got a lot
funny.
going for you. Except you're extremely boring. And
Oh my God, that's terrible.
I mean, you know, it's not your fault. I mean, we just went on a whole date, a double date with 4 people, and Amber was the only thing with anything to say. Why were you rubbing your leg?
What?
Why were you rubbing ice on your leg?
Oh, I was bored.
Me too.
We should get back to the car.
I'll find a ride.
Is this how you end your dates?
If this was a date, that's how I'm ending this one.
Get home safe.
He's a real nice guy, isn't he?
I'm curious as to some of the acting choices that he made there.
Oh
was
man,
just
no,
watching
I thought he did great. I thought based on his character,
The head scratch at the end doesn't fit.
absolutely does.
No, it doesn't.
Because-
The head scratch at the end indicates that he indicates embarrassment.
Yes.
So the reason to do it is he's like that. But why would he be embarrassed when he was being honest? You wouldn't be embarrassed if you were telling her honest things.
Because he hurt
So-
the girl's feelings, and whereas he might be an asshole, he didn't want to hurt her feelings. So
That came off very much like he didn't care if he was hurting her feelings. He was being honest, and he
One of
didn't
those
couch
things.
that. He didn't couch that very well as far as
he did a great job. You're being over analytical because whatever, but no, he did a fantastic job. His acting choices were perfect. They were great because his awkwardness.
I disagree.
Well, you can disagree all you want. You can be wrong. That's fine. But
I find
in
it.
all honesty, those weren't any of my decisions. I wasn't there to direct. I was there to light
was
and make it
directing?
look pretty. That was Jason directed that one.
Okay, there was just some choices from the now as far as like technical wise, it looked very good. Technical wise, it looked good. Some questions about the writing and it's like that, but the writing is one thing. It's like, but as far as like choices, like acting choices, as far as like the goals, objectives, tactics, and expectations in particular scenes, when if you utilizing the Richard Cohen method, if you analyze specifically the choices he's making in response to various words, especially like how the body reacts to specific emotions that are implied to be behind the words he's saying. The dialogue is extremely honest. He's being honest with her, but if he doesn't want to hurt her feelings, then he would couch that in an intimacy. It's like, I'm going to bring you in because I don't want this to be a big giant thing, and I'm going to tell you honestly, but we don't need to make a big spectacle of it. So to protect your feelings, I'm going to bring you in and get closer and make this a little bit more intimate, lower my voice a little bit, look you directly in the eye, and don't be threatening in the respect that I'm going to pay you this respect of honesty. But he keeps his distance. He reflects off from being kissed. He's standoffish in the entire point. He never gets close and intimizes it. And then he tells her the truth. And then when she walks away, he looks around and scratches his head like, I hope nobody saw that. That indicates that not only does he not care, but he's also concerned about what other people think of him being honest, which is weird, which is a strange choice, which means that he knows he was, but he doesn't, it means he's deceptive. He doesn't want other people to think that he is like this because he knows that will make him look like an asshole.
Yes.
So he is embarrassed by the fact that he wants to make sure, and so he's embarrassed by the fact that he was honest, which is odd, which means that he's
you're looking at a very small piece of a much larger picture. So there are reasons for those choices and are reasons for those actions.
Later, no, but it's what's going on in my mind if I see stuff. As someone,
yes, he absolutely does.
As a classically trained actor, as a classically trained theater actor, as someone who's done my fair share of film, both in front of and behind the camera, I understand that the choices we make require much thought, a great deal of thought, a great deal of research. It's like, how am I doing this? You talk with the directors. How am I? It's like in this particular one, I'm. This is what I'm getting from the script. Is this what you want me to get from the script?
You're about to be in trouble because PhD Tony for 10 Eyes says, I get annoyed with focus on cosmetic elements rather than content. I yell and get angry at people for lying to me. That doesn't make what I yell factually inaccurate or logically invalid. Content over form. So PhD Tony says you're focusing on the cosmetic too much.
No, I'm not.
I'm just fucking with you. Oh, it's so good. Yes, I fucking can. If you know, you know. So Ed209 says, how does Chillie make money? He makes money through donations and his grifts.
Apparently, he has what would we call him? Patronage from somebody. If this were ancient Rome, he would say he has patronage.
Yeah.
Of something like he's got access to money, but the money is not his. Is the whole point. So he still has to he's got money he can go to, but it's not like he can just spend it willy nilly like it was his own. So
yeah. But anyway, so
now I want to divert. I have played Macbeth, and it was one of my favorite. I played Macbeth and Richard III. Two of my absolute favorite roles that I ever played when I was back doing theater regularly. So
we
Macbeth and Richard III. I loved Richard III, man.
We weren't allowed to use the word Macbeth
when you're in the theater.
Yeah, when you're in the theater. Yeah,
when you're in the theater, it's the Scottish play. You can't say that, but Richard III and Macbeth were my favorite Shakespeare roles. Absolutely. I really, at one point in my life, really wanted to play Iago.
You almost did Othello.
I did. I was like, I know, but play in Othello, but obviously I can't be the Moor. But I'm not one of those actors who think that I can play anything. I'm no Scarlett Johansson. But in that respect, I really wanted. I've never wanted to. I've never gotten the opportunity to play Iago. I really would like to play that one day. I think I could do a really excellent Iago. I almost had the opportunity to play King Oedipus one time, which would have been phenomenal. Because at the time I was like in the best shape of my life. I had a really nice beard going on,
as well.
I think very funny. But unfortunately, I auditioned for the role and I was offered the role, but unfortunately, where my life was, I couldn't accept it. Time-wise, the reason I auditioned is because I wanted to show the director what I was capable of, so I could work with him in the future. He didn't take it that way. And I have never worked with him ever again because he was. I've never gotten a chance to work with him because he was kind of offended by that.
By Grab Thor's hammer.
By Grab Thor's hammer.
What a saving. PhD Tony for 5 Ozzy says, I was not saying that, Johnny. Dale's wrong for completely different reasons.
Tony, I've been wrong on many things in my life. I'm not wrong on this.
You're one of my favorite people on this internet world, Tony. And this is the reason why. This is one of the reasons why you're one of my favorite people here.
It's not story time with JL, Odin. It's not. It's just I was reflecting. I miss my theater time.
Here's the thing. We are talking about technical proficiency in filmmaking, which is something that Chillie definitely lacks.
Yes.
So potentially criminal, just got your DM. Abso-freaking-lutely. If you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out. I mean, I'm not a guru by any means. I'm not the whiz. I'm still learning a lot myself. This is a business that you can be in for 20, 30, 40, 50 years and constantly learn something new. It is amazing. It is so much fun because there's so many different artistic reasons why you would do something. Like, for instance, JL took issue with some of the actions that some of the choices that the actor made. But when you look at it in context of the artistic vision, maybe it would make more sense. Maybe it doesn't. So and I'm not trying to be funny there, JL. I'm being serious.
No, right? I know.
So there are so many different ways that an actor can portray.
I've just never heard somebody say, "Yeah, I've never heard somebody say you need the whole context.
You do need the whole context, but no, I mean, so yeah,
you don't understand the context of the music.
You don't know what's going on. But anyway,
that's something I've never heard in my life.
But yeah, so that's where Chillie, if you're watching and you want to make another film like this again, please
Don't.
listen to the technical advice that we're giving you. That way, when we laugh at your film, it's for the content, not for how shitty it is. Just overall. That's all I'm saying. I had fun tonight. How about you, JL?
Yeah, this was good. This is fantastic. Harris, they have a section of the Amazon set aside to provide oxygen during JL's monologues. I have mastered, like Kenny G, the ability to circularly breathe.
Yeah.
So I can just go on and not have to worry about it.
This is also true. It was the record for longest
held note.
Yeah. Yeah. But I was thinking of Kate Winslet, who has now the new record for longest time holding her breath.
Really?
I think it's like 7 fucking minutes.
Oh, that's right. For the training she was doing for
Avatar.
for Avatar. That's right.
Yeah, she beat Tom Cruise of all people. 7.5 minutes. Fucking crazy. JL thinks Anne Hathaway is boring.
No, Anne209. I don't think that Anne Hathaway is boring. I think that Anne Hathaway is a tremendously talented actress. I wish Anne Hathaway would get offered the roles that would make use of the talent that she has, because she is phenomenally talented. The depth of that girl is incredible. I wish she got offered roles that made use of that. But the problem is, she, unlike some other actresses, she just does not really have that kind of access. That's a politics.
I don't know why that. I don't know if it's a politics thing or if it's just that she's picked the selections that she's made, because she's had access to do some. She was in Les Mis, right? And that was a pretty profound role for her. It was a pretty good role for her. Obviously, being Catwoman and Batman, that was a excellent position to roll for. Maybe she's just not getting the same type of pull. Now, there are people that say that I've heard people complain that she's difficult to work with, which I fucking hate when people say shit like that. Because
I've heard, but I couldn't confirm it.
I couldn't confirm, because I hear people say that about other people all the time, and it's not exactly, that people just didn't like the fact that they were assertive. Like Brie Larson is terrible to work with. No, she just said shit she won't put up with.
Yeah.
Debbie Edwards. Know what your boundaries are.
Debbie Edwards. Kate Winslet was in Avatar: The Way of Water. She was in the sequel. She was not in the first one. She was in the sequel, and they had to do underwater training because they did a lot of underwater camera work in that. And so she had to do underwater training like Tom Cruise has done in the past. And part of that was training how to hold your breath for an extended period of time, and that's where she beat Tom Cruise's record. So.
Casey Cooper says, I hear JL say Johnny is hard to work with. That's true.
I've never said that.
In those words. Cindy Sue is...
No, I know. It just doesn't logically tell. I've never thought it. So... but come on, man. You've straight up told me I'm hard to work with.
Oh, I have. But I've told you. I haven't told other people, like, hey, JL's a...
Or you've implied. It could be inferred. I've inferred from your implication that I could be.
No, that's the thing. I'm very careful, and here I am in the fucking live stream in front of 200 plus people talking about. I have said these things, but I've talked to you about it, and that's not like, oh, hey, by the way, JL's hard to work with. No, anybody asked me, I said, look, first person.
Aaron told me some things. No, sorry, Aaron.
I'm sure he did. Anyway, Cindy Sue celebrates 14 months of membership as a Plotto crew member. Thank you so much. But no, I don't say, look, I may have had if anything, I had a difficult time connecting or a difficult time communicating with this person or that person. Mm. I'm not gonna say this person is hard to work with, because that can seriously affect somebody's career. Look what Will Smith did to the original Vivian. Yeah. Fucking destroyed her career because he said she was tough to work with. $6 NANA for 666. Hale Sagan says Brie Larson sucks. Sorry, not sorry. I don't think she sucks.
I know she was pretty damn amazing in The Room.
I thought she was great in The Room.
Yeah,
I haven't seen her in a whole lot of other things, but
she was very compelling in The Room. She was fantastic in The United States of Terra. She was great in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. She was great in her little stint in Community. Many of the things I've seen her in, she's been fantastic. She's a very, very talented actress. Not to mention, she was a pop singer. She was a pop singer before she became an actress, and her music videos are on YouTube.
Vertiferk says, I want to see JL play the Sheriff of Nottingham.
Oh, that would be a cool role.
That
And
would be
somebody
so
asked
much fun.
me, somebody asked me if I'd ever played something else, and dang, it was another Shakespeare. No, they asked me if I could play Romeo. No, I cannot play Romeo, but I make a badass Mercutio.
I'd rather be a Tybalt.
Yeah, Tybalt's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sitting thinking about it. Yeah, Tybalt's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I make a pretty damn when I was younger, when I was in my like 20s, I make a pretty damn good Mercutio.
Juggernaut Jared Reed, absolutely. You can send me a link.
I'm supposed to hate Brie for reasons.
For reasons. Why? Because she's
I've in my very small career, I've only run into I could count them on one, probably 3 people who I would say legitimately were impossible to work with. And that was simply because it wasn't because they lacked technical knowledge or lacked knowledge of the craft or like acting in and of itself or the ability to give direction. It was simply because they put themselves ahead of the project. And it's so rare to run into people like that where it's their ego ahead of everything else. Where they are in front. It's not the production, it's me, then the production. That's when it becomes problematic. Even someone like James Cameron, who has a notorious reputation. Everyone always says, yeah, he's hard to work with, but that's because he's putting the project ahead of everything.
So, yeah, when people, even like Sigourney Weaver has talked about it being that she didn't use the words difficult to work with. I forget. She phrased it in such a way that was very politically correct.
Very democratically.
Very
diplomatic. Very diplomatically.
Yes, very diplomatic. And but she says I'd work with him again, and she has.
Yeah. Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton loved working with him.
Because he gave Bill Paxton his break.
Yeah.
He's the one who kept hiring Bill Paxton. So Bill Paxton's like, I fucking love this guy because he keeps giving me work, and I get to play super fun characters. So,
Dominic Dean Stuber, I would love to play Titus Andronicus. But I think I need to be a little bit older. I understand that I
can age you a little bit. I mean,
I've played roles that are like, age wise that are far beyond where I'm at. And for me as an actor, and I know that goes to is like the level of talent of some individuals who can play extremely old characters, and they do like Jared Leto playing in Jared Leto or Brad Pitt and Benjamin Button, Jared Leto and Mr. Nobody. The ability to play someone of advanced years is not just about physicality, but it's also embracing the mentality of those individuals. And I'm very much of the mind, as far as my acting training goes, that I kind of need to be in it. Like right now, I could play Van Helsing a hell of a lot better than I could play him when I was 23, because of the years that I have lived and the near 20 years in between that. I played Van Helsing when I was 23 years old, and I think I did pretty well. But now I would knock it out of the fucking park because I have that experience behind me. And so I think that at a certain point when playing character like Titus Andronicus, that is a world-weary general who has seen everything. And that's why Anthony Hopkins can be brought in to play that. And so could I do that? Probably, in 10 years, maybe 15. I would feel comfortable stepping into Titus's boots.
Plus, you'll have the arthritis that he had. Ed209 says, love camera movies, don't care if he's difficult. See, but there's a difference between being difficult you can be difficult for the right reasons, and I think Cameron is difficult for the right reasons. Although he had to learn, how to do that. So,
right.
A lot of people may not know this, but the entire crew on Aliens walked off when he fired the AD. Because they were loyal to the AD and he was treating them like shit. So much so that he brought them all back. A huge apology. He was like, hey, look, I was a dick. So sorry, but blah, 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 blah. And then, he had to learn when to push and when to pull back. So, yeah. Have to say what Cameron did to Ed Harris was absolutely dickish. I thought what he did to Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio was worse. And she won't even talk about her time on
The Abyss.
On The Abyss. She just won't even talk about it. She won't talk about James Cameron anymore. Won't talk about the film, nothing. You nary find her say anything about that movie or about working with James Cameron.
Would I do Coriolanus? I would do any Shakespeare production. I love Shakespeare. I absolutely adore it. Shakespeare was one of my favorite classes when I was studying it back in school. I never got a chance to work with with the Dallas Shakespeare Company because the timing never seemed to work out as far as my personal life. Plus, I was young, and there's a lot of politics that go into that.
Commitment too, playing.
Yeah,
Picking even a fucking a minor role in a Shakespeare play. That's a lot of work into that. You got to put a lot of time and effort into those. It was very demanding.
It was difficult. It was difficult to break into and plus in where I was living when I was back in Texas, the competition between equity actors and non-union rep actors is really fierce because more often than not, a major production is going to go with equity actors. And at the time when I was living in Texas, I did not have my equity card. So it was difficult you can't just like walk in unless you're like, the next, it was really word of mouth. You had to have people kind of vouch for you.
Yeah.
And so like, if I had individuals like, the dean of education or other individuals who regularly work with the Shakespeare Theater Company, with Shakespeare of Dallas, they could vouch for me and I would go in. So, but it was hard. There's a lot of politics. There's a lot of networking, and it's more about politics, networking, and who you know than it is about your talent. And I was young, I was fresh out of school, and it was hard. It was hard because those things were established.
Daryl LaRose says, what Shakespeare character would Chillie be? I think he's not even good enough to play the skull in Hamlet. So
if he showed up, if I was casting like Macbeth, I would cast him as one of the guards that gets murdered. Or I was casting as one of the guards that winds up getting executed for falling asleep. I would cast him as one of the guards that gets drugged and falls asleep. I would. I would cast him something simple like that. But trying to give that person lines with depth, it's like no. There's
you
no
saw how he delivered his own his own shit. It was just stop resisting, stop resisting, stop resisting, stop resisting. Fucking.
Rudy Chavez, thank you very much. Says I think you would be a great voice actor in anime cartoons. I am a voice actor in anime cartoons. I have done 5 years of voice work with Funimation. Unfortunately, because I moved out of state, it's very difficult because to record, I have to go back down to
what? Not anymore. Not anymore. Now they're starting to do a lot more
remote.
Home.
Yeah, you can do it from your
stuff,
home studio and everything.
Yeah.
But yes, 5 years of work with Funimation, and all of my credits are on my IMDb. And but predominantly, I can't even name all the animes I was in. I did a lot of work on One Piece. A few named characters on One Piece, and of course a number of other deals where I was brought in to cover characters, everything from Attack on Titan, Gangster, Bento, a bunch of stuff, and it's all on my IMDb. But yes, I thank you very much. I have done voice work. Appreciate that.
Yep. I've got a role coming up soon. It's gonna be so much fun. So much fun to play this role.
Oh, you're talking about the.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Closing shift. I'm so fucking
it's interesting. It's weird to think. It's like because I'm looking at you. It's like it's hard to see you in that role.
Really?
It is. I mean, I don't know what it is. What are you going to do about your beard?
Well, I don't have to do anything about my beard.
Because it's going to be interesting. You imagine the beard sticking out.
Hey, watch this, JL. Look. See, beard, right? Beard. Hmm. Oh my God, where'd the beard go? Fucking hell. You worry too much, JL.
I worry about the logistics of everything.
That's for me to worry about now. You wrote it. We're gonna shoot it, and we're gonna.
And I know you're gonna kick the shit out of it. So,
dude. So this is like a off whatever, but. Okay, so the guy who did all the makeup special effects for Nail Gun short, he's going to be doing the effects for this one as well. He's going to be designing the mask. I've already spoke with him about the design for the mask. I'll tell you about it. Casino's
going to do all that, man?
Casino's going to do it, yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that.
I'm so excited.
Stuff that I wrote.
Here in a second, I'm going to.
I can't wait to see that because I know because I know the Casino read. Does he read the script?
Not yet. I just talked to him a couple days. We'll talk offline here about this. I got to
Awesome,
answer because I got to call Eugene back about the movie. By the way,
He's gonna eat that shit up.
I'll tell you here in a few. NANA for $6.66. Hail Sagan says, right on. I dig what you two do. Thank you so much, NANA. By the way, there are some people who are waiting on your Insomniac Film shirts from the whatever. They are packaged. I've got the stickers in them. I've got the thank you cards all written. Everything's addressed. Now I just got to start taking it. I think I'm going to take it in batches to the post office because there's a lot of them, and I don't want to be that guy that takes up the clerk's time for hours. If they're all going to the same place, it's one thing, but they're not. It's like 25 or 26 different packages going, or no, more than that. Like 50 different packages going to 50 different locations, some overseas, and that'd be up there for fucking, I don't know how, a while.
A minute. Yeah.
Anyway, but those will be going out soon.
Although I'm telling you, with these things, my local shipping area, they're getting to know me quite well because they'll be like, got another one. Yay.
Yep. Anyway, it's time to go. I had fun. We're gonna do if I do Chillie stuff, that's what it's gonna be. It's not gonna I'm really, I know everybody's bored of Chillie. I'm bored of Chillie. I'm tired of the day. I'm just so I saw this film. I was like, man, we got to fucking rip this film. A new one, seeing as how that's what we are. We are filmmakers. So that's what I wanted to do, and I had fun doing it. Make sure you check out this guy, JL Warren, over on Bridge the Divide. He just put out a new video where he deconstructed, what was his name? The
latest one? Matt. Yeah. Oh, you talking about the most recent thing I did was I did a live stream with
King Xerxes. With King Xerxes, that's right.
Did a live stream with King Xerxes where he deconstructed. Right? The live stream was a deconstruction of Red Pen logic, and then before that was the fairly. I tried to make it as entertaining as possible. What was Matt Powell and Adolf Hitler? So yeah. I'm telling you right now, man, that video has hung with me way longer than I would like, but that's because of that's because of the research that I had to do it, and that's a lot. It's an understatement when they say that World War II was a dark period in human history. It's an understatement, and I have a greater appreciation for the survivors and the effort and the sacrifices that were made to stop that madman. The dark shit that I had to research in order to demarcate. It was
intensive, right? So
yeah, to demarcate Matt Powell's lies.
I can see you starting to self-soothe over there with your beard and all that. I'm going to break you out of that because you're self-soothing, and it's I don't want you to
No, it's okay. I'm not just like it was so dark, and I want to do light things. I like doing light things where we do this, and it's just that one particular exploration. But he's a terrible human being. He's terrible. He's really awful, vile person. So, and someone has to point that out.
Right.
Someone's got to point it
out.
So
there you go. You can check him out over Bridge the Divide. And then tomorrow, 7 Central, check out me and this guy doing our shtick on horror films on the Weekend Horror. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun. 7 Central, lots of fun. That being what it is, I've got new material coming out soon. It's going to be good times for everybody. It's time to go. Say good night, JL.
Good night, JL. Oh, and don't forget,
squeaky.
DarthDawkins.com.
All right, everybody. Cheers.